Good evening and welcome to round 3 of the Intercontinental Sim Racing Porsche Cup Challenge, coming to you live today from Spielberg, Austria, at one of the most infamous tracks, the Red Bull Ring. Of course, it was brought back to life by the Red Bull Company in the mid-2010s. The Red Bull Ring has been a regular host of Formula 1 since 2014. The Red Bull Ring offers a great mix of speed and challenge, which I'm sure the drivers will relish tonight. I'd say watch out for turn 3 in the race. It's one of the best overtaking spots, in my opinion. But it's off camber, so you've got to make sure that you got to be confident in your moves. As I mess up my words, my name is Sebastian Bosch-Williams. Joining me in the commentary box tonight is the series organizer and, of course, regular driver in the series, Martin Pearson. Good evening, Martin. It's very nice to have you here tonight. How are you feeling about this race?
I'm well excited. Thanks very much, Seb. We really should have said irregular driver. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to put enough practice in for this evening to feel comfortable at the wheel of the Porsche 992 that all of our drivers are in this evening. So I am proud to join you in the commentary box. Get back into ISRC CCV.
Awesome. Well, it's very nice to have you here. Is qualifying has gotten underway here. Of course, it's an open qualifying session today, which differs from our standard qualifying format of 2 laps. It's a 40-minute race today, so gone are the 2 20-minute sprint races, and we've got one long 40-minute race as we ride on board with Yannick in the 876 car and just look at how cool this track is and how much camber the track has got as he starts his first flying lap. But as I was saying, it's an open session, so we've got all the issues of traffic and if somebody spins ahead of you, you can use a lap, so it's very different. Of course, the race today is a 40-minute race with mandatory pit stops, so watch out for that during the race. Let's have a little bit of a ride on board with Yannick as he heads up through what's unfortunately called turn 2, this little kink here, although it's pretty much on the straight, as he brakes into turn 3 deep on the brakes, bleeds all the speed off as he hits the curb nicely, gets to the apex nice and easily. That's a really nice entry as he accelerates out of turn 3 into turn 4. Again, tricky braking zone down the hill. Got to make sure that you brake a little bit earlier as you are going down the hill, and the track as you turn in falls away from you, so you've got to turn in early as he hits the curb very nicely. Make sure you don't run too wide on the exit here, as that gravel trap is very inviting and you'll end up seeing the driver behind you, which I'm sure he won't be pleased about. Into turn 6. Long corner, just managing the understeer here, but a good line through here. He uses all the curb he can on exit. Into turn 7, looking nice as well. Easy to pick up an off drag here and get your lap invalidated, but I think he's gotten through quite nicely there. As we head down into the turn 9 and 10, brake just before the 100, get the nose turned in on the curb. Very brave of him being in the Porsche Cup. Straight line this as much as you can. Take as much of that curb as you dare. It's a really competitive lap from him as he crosses the line here. Let's see what his lap time is. He will definitely go on provisional pole as he's the first car to finish. That's a 1:30.7. So that's our first lap time. Let's see if Isaac Barkley can match that. No, he cannot. So Yannick stays at the top. Is actually Alias Pritstoff, who was leading in both the practice sessions. He's got the fastest time so far. Comes in just under a tenth behind him.
Brilliant benchmark set down there by Yannick. And it'll be interesting to see if anybody can match that at their first attempt. We've had quite a few cars across the line, but as Gonzalo Vergara goes P1, he's actually a new entry to the championship in this round. He got told it by a teammate yesterday and is now on the grid. If you want to join us on the grid for future rounds, then you can do exactly that. The description and link to our Discord is in the description below.
That's a very impressive time by Gonzalo there. That's the perfect start to his campaign as we have a look at Isaac Barkley now, who's currently in P6. Is our previous race winner Alex Gall goes to the top with a 1:30.3. That's an incredible time. That's 3/10 quicker than the driver in P2. But Yannick up there stands out for me. He is part of the AM class, so he is well outperforming his class at the moment. So very impressive from him as we look on board, well, we look off board with Alex Gall, who has dominated the first 2 rounds of the championship, taking a win in both Hockenheim and last race at Sebring. So very impressive from him. So who else has gone on the board? So Adrian Van Den has gone in P5 overall. So that's a good lap time for him. Just for a little bit of context, the quickest lap time we've seen all weekend has been a 1 minute 30.192, which was set by Aliav Pritstoff in, I think, practice 1. So there might be a little bit of time, but of course there's track temperatures and all the things to depend about. Adrian goes a bit quicker, and Stefan Jones heads up into P5, and he's totally not stolen my number. That I'm not bitter about at all. As we look on board with both of the Backmarker racing cars, I don't think you're allowed to do that. Those two get in a draft, so you have to be careful there. I think there might be, the stewards might have something to say as just like Eva gets off. As we have a look at the dazzling camo of the Backmarker racing car. Let's have a look. How late is rake? Well, about 110 meters there. Can you get the nose in nicely? Yeah, he can. Takes a little bit of a later apex than Yannick did, but manages to get a nice run out as he comes into, I think will be turn 7, brake just before the 50. Will he be able to actually hit the curb? He has. He's got a nice front end on that car, but the rear is stepping out as he actually loses the rear and heads across, and I think he's pretty much given up on that lap at the moment, which is understandable, but it looked like a quick lap from him, and it's a shame that he couldn't improve. As we have a look at who's that, the number 8 car. Let me just have a look at my list. So that's David Glass, another AM driver, as he just starts his flying lap with the distinctive blue and orange livery. He'll be easy to spot. Commentators always love cars like that because they're very easy to identify. As Sean Collins goes up to P7, it's out his teammate Ewout van Kloijsen in P8. So bragging rights there, although Stefan is still ahead in that team. Lots of different teams here. It's really nice to see. Always good to see teams racing. It's extra competitive when you've got a teammate in that you want to beat. Still got about 10 cars or so to set a lap time, so I still got about 8 minutes to do it, so still quite easy. Just wanted to note that who was it? So Adrian.
Once you figure that out, so Alex Gowell at halfway point in our qualifying session has gone to the top of the leaderboard with a fantastic 1 minute 30 dead. He's half a second clear of our Ampol, which is Yannick Danish, who's second overall at the moment. Those two guys doing an absolutely fantastic job for, well, Alex for VRS Satellite, and Yannick Danish is a privateer, so representing himself very well. And that's a hell of a time over Ewout van Kroijsen, who is the second in the AM category at the moment.
Yannick has been super quick. I actually wrote down his practice results. So he's an AM driver, and he was only 4/10 behind Aliav Pritstoff, who was the quickest. So incredible performance by him. But what I really wanted to say is Adrian Vandenberg completed a whopping 43 laps of practice in the 2 sessions, the most out of anybody. So watch out for him, although he's about in P6 at the moment, but not too far down as we go off board with him now to see that black and yellow livery, which we'll look out for. Does Stefan Jones improve? No, he doesn't. Actually, Adrian goes up into P5, so 2/10 behind Aliav's now, so he's got a good chance here. Of course, qualifying's not everything. 40-minute race, got to be safe at the start and got to be there at the end, as a famous quote is to finish first you must finish, and undoubtedly that's the motto that I hope everybody applies today as we look on board with the 101 Porsche. Do you know why I said Porsche? They all Porsches. It's a spec series.
Just like that famous Murray Walker quote, and it's Ford Escort followed by Escort followed by another Escort. That's because it's a Ford Escort race.
We'll get it.
So following in great commentary footsteps there, Seb. Don't worry about it.
Thank you very much. I'll take that. Undoubtedly, I'll take that. Let's have a look. So we've still got a few people that haven't qualified yet. I can have a look and see if they've had any off tracks, but I think it's just a bit of. Yeah, I think people just getting their lap invalidated. Quite a hard track here. iRacing, if you don't know, has a sort of quite a strict off-track limit. So if you go wider than the game allows you at certain times, it will invalidate your lap. As we see a few more people now actually getting their laps in. So I think that was Mark Johnson who's just set a lap time. Isaac Barkley now goes up to P8. As there's a spin in the background, I think for one of the, was that the AOR teams or something? I didn't quite catch the car there, but that's a spin at turn 1, which is not the optimal way of completing the lap.
No, but it's a good job. It is a 15-minute session. A little bit less pressure, I think, rather than the 2 laps you're allowed in the 8 minutes for the 2 sprint races. So, yeah, I'm sure they'll recover from that and go again.
They will. I mean, what's standing out to me is, as I said before, is Yannick up in P2, the highest AM driver. He could actually go on for an overall win, which would be huge in the AM standings for him. So, actually, just looking at my timing stands, it looks like he's actually a pro driver. So, Ewout van Kroosjen is actually on pole for the AM category. I think that's a little bit of an issue with the graphic there.
What's Yannick's iRating then there, Seb?
5.6k.
Okay, yeah, he's definitely a pro.
I mean, there's not much ambiguity there. So
no,
sorry for that. So we'll
try and get that fixed for the race, shall we?
As Niels Kors goes up to P2, a stunning lap from him. So he's up into P2. That's a brilliant lap. Nobody can quite touch Alex Gall at the moment, but honestly, they haven't really been able to touch him for much of the season. He has been rapid quick as, we get our timing stands fixed. So Ewout is in pole. The number 13 car is in pole for the AM category there, which is a good result for him, as Tom Dowman goes up to P6, 2 tenths behind P5.
Yeah, interesting to see the separation between the AM and the pro categories today. You would expect your AM drivers to not be quite as good as qualifying, perhaps, and maybe don't feel as comfortable with that little bit of extra pressure that a qualifying session can give, as Tom Johnson runs a little bit wide there through Bosch Curve. And but it would be, as we've seen in the previous races, it's all about the start. That jump off the start, and some of our AM drivers like Will Money will definitely have a good start off the standing grid and make a few positions on our pro drivers and then mix it with the rest of them.
Well, talking of Will Money, he's gone to the top of the AM standings. So he is now on provisional pole. Very good lap from him. Of course, our last season 1 AM champion. So he's unfortunately had quite a difficult start to the season. He got involved in a huge accident at Hockenheim, and trying to remember, and I think another incident at Sebring, although there was quite a lot of incidents at Sebring, and so unfortunately I can't remember them all. But I think he's had a difficult season, so he'll be very pleased to get pole here. Although the points only come at the end of the race, so half the job is done. What I'm just stunned about is how close this field is at the moment. So let's have a look down the field. So Alex Gall, 4 tenths clear of P2. Very impressive. Is the number 999 car of Dennis goes up to P9, overtakes Isaac Barkley. It's a good little gap. So let's have a look. So Alex Gall in a league of his own. Excuse me, I wonder if he'll go for another lap just to try and get into the 1 minute 29s. I know that I would. It's a very tempting just to get those 7,000. So we'll have a look. As Will Money actually goes past Sean Collins, who's a pro driver. So he now will start 1 position ahead of Ewout in the AM category, which is crucial for him, which is a very good lap time there. Very well done to Will Money. As we have a look at Alex Gall, who I'm pretty sure is on a quick lap. So let's, if we can ride on board with him, that would be great, just to have a look as we go on board down the straight into turn 4 now, building up speed all the time. You've got to pick your braking zone perfectly. Make sure you don't lock a wheel. There's actually somebody ahead of him does. Thank God we don't have yellow flag rules in iRacing like they do in F1. Otherwise, he would have had to abandon his lap. But really clean through there. Didn't lock the tyres as the car did in front. Now into turn 7, brake just before the 50, gets the car into the corner very nicely. Uses all the curb available on the exit, leaving none of the track unused there. As Yannick goes up to P2, only 3 tenths now behind Alex. But can Alex improve even more? As there's been another car that goes off, and I think Tom Johnson has now gone ahead of Sean Collins while we were on board with Alex, as he goes into the final 2 sets of corners now. A little bit wide, but that he might just be choosing that as he takes so much. I thought you were getting off track going that wide there. As Diogo goes up to P6 in class, and does Alex Gall improve? He does not. He does not by quite a margin. He lost 0.6 in that lap. So that is it. So he will finish on pole unless anybody can challenge him. As we see Tom Johnson, who looks, is he going a bit slow or is it just the camera angle? I think it's just the camera angle. Although he doesn't look. We'll have a look. So who's out on a hot lap at the moment? We've got Yannick and Niels, Adrian, Tom Johnson and Mark Johnson. So we will see if any of them can improve. I think the biggest improver will be Yannick, see if he can take pole, but I think Alex has got this pole position on lockdown. But of course, it's not over until the session's over. His Tom gets very wide on the penultimate corner there, hanging onto it for all his might. Can he improve as he crosses the line? Can he start higher than 13th overall? He can. He goes up to P12. He overtakes Will Money. So well done. Well done. That's an extra place. Always welcome, as Niels does not improve on his lap time. Unfortunately, he's only 500ths behind his best lap time, though, so more consistent, you'd say, than Alex. So Mark Johnson is now the final car out on track, and can he improve?
That looks like a big slide at the second left-hander on the infield. I do love the livery that Mark's gone for this race. So this is a Salzburg livery, which is Salzburg's in Austria, and this livery is inspired by, I believe it was the 1971 917 Porsche 917K that raced at Le Mans, and he's had another lockup at the final corner, but he manages to tuck it in and without going too wide and across the line. Would be a final person to cross the line this evening. No improvement there, but still, it's a long way to go, and yeah, a lot can happen in 40 minutes from 17th.
Indeed it can, and of course with the pit stop and whatever strategy comes with that, very interesting to see. But here, well, we have our pole position winner of Alex Gal with a 1 minute 30.007, 0.3 ahead of P2 of Yannick and Niels Core in third. That was a great qualifying, a lot cleaner than I expected it. I didn't see any sort of blocking. The drivers were informed in the driver's briefing of making sure to stay out of everybody's way. But two drivers didn't qualify, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there as we have a look at the grids. As I said, your pole position holder for today is Alex Gal again. P2 is Yannick Danish. Niels Core in third. Gonzalo Viguera, who is a new member, is in fourth. A very good opening stint from him. Looks like we might be going for a rolling start here, which isn't necessarily what was planned. More information on that in a minute. Alias Pritstoff in P5, Diogo Alberto in P6, Adrian Van Den in P7, Tom Dowman in P8, Stefan Jones in P9, and Dennis Van Billen is in P10, rounding off the P10 indeed. Isaac Barkley just outside the top 10 in P11, Tom Johnson in 12th alongside him. Very close this field at the moment. Looks like it will be a rolling start, which wasn't planned, but drivers will have to just adapt to it. So Will Money is our AM pole position, our AM pole sitter. He starts 13th overall, but of course first in class. Sean Collins starts 14th as one of the lower down pro cars, so he'll be hoping to make up many positions at the start. Ewout van Krolisjen is in P2. I say that name wrong every time. I'm sorry, Ewout, I really am. But he starts P2 in AM, and David Glass starts alongside him in P3 in AM. Mark Johnson, as we were riding on board with him in the closing stages of qualifying, starts P17 overall, but fourth in class. The number 420, Eduardo Melgar, starts in 18th, who didn't qualify, and Sasso Procent rounds off the final position in 19th, again after not qualifying. So a little bit of a anticlimax of a start, as it's not going to be a standing start, which is a little bit disappointing. I was very much looking forward to standing start. I always find it very interesting to see what the different how people approach starts and with their clutches and stuff. But yeah, so but nevertheless it will be a rolling start as they get away now. So, on the rundown for the final corner, this race will be crazy. Remember, there is a mandatory pit stop. not expected to take tyres, but we've I've put in some requests to some drivers to spice up the race a little bit. It could be like a Formula 2 sprint race. Is it quicker to take tyres and be on fresh rubber? Of course, this car is quite new to everybody. The timing stands is having quite a difficult moment at the moment, but it's just because everybody's jostling for positions. The pace car now leaves the track, and Alex Gal now becomes the pace car as we come around the final corner to start round 3 of the ISRPC Championship. When does Alex Gal go? I think he's gone now. He has, and we are underway. And the green flag flies, and I think that Niels Corey's got a great start at the moment. He's on the inside. Please keep it safe, everybody, into turn 2. As Gonzalo goes around the outside of everybody, he's now up to P2, I think. No, sorry, that's Yannick. So Yannick's up to P2, and Gonzalo's gone around the outside of Niels for P3, as we're now racing down to turn 2, although turn 2 really isn't a corner, as we now head up to the big braking zone of turn 3. Is that the number 29 car making a move? Oh, he was thinking about it. But the 999 car's coming around the outside, but he's locked up and he's gone wide. He's going to lose the position to the 27 car of Stefan Jones there. Sean Collins making up some positions at the back of the grid, but Alex Gal has got a textbook start, already 8 tenths up ahead of Yannick in P2 as we head down into P4 now. Everybody jostling for position. Will Money still our AM class leader? And Sean Collins is racing the 420 car and he gets pushed wide. So Arto is already up, 5 or 6 positions at the moment. That's a brilliant start for him. He's already on the back of the pro field, so a really good start from him. But clean for everybody at the moment as we ride on board with the battle for P2, as we're on board with Gonzalo, who is trying to make up even more positions at the start, and he's got a brilliant run on Yannick now as they head to turn 9 and 10. As we, just behind us, unfortunately, we've just missed the move for P4 as Diogo has gotten past. Is there battling as Diogo goes wide, and that's going to allow Niels to come through on the inside there. He will definitely have an off track there. Oh no, it's Niels! I think he was a bit spooked by Diogo there, and he's spun. The guy that started P3 is now dropping down the order. He's going to be last. I even think he hit the barrier for good measure. He's even got a hit reverse. That's so unlucky for him. Oh, that's heartbreak for him. But as we see Will Money having a look at the 420 car, as Eval actually takes advantage of Will Money, and he's up into the lead as they now race side by side. But Eval's just the upper hand. But Eval, do apologise. Will's going to keep it alongside as they head into turn 3 at the moment. Eval breaks just that bit later, but Will be able to get the undercut. That was hard to say, but Eval has the position for now. It's all kicking off here, but Niels Corr, such a disappointment for him. And I think Mark Johnson's also had a bit of an issue at the start. I wonder if it's a bit of contact or just a bit of a spin there. But my God, that was an interesting start as there's smoke being kicked up as Stefan Jones goes on the inside of Adrian Vandenberg. They're racing side by side into T, I think that's T6 at the moment. And they're still side by side now as they come through the infield. Perfect racing from the two of them here as Adrian just keeps the position for now, but Stefan Jones is heading behind them as we see the 101 car racing the number 47 car. It's all kicking off everything as we now ride on board with Stefan Jones in the number 27 car, right up behind the 29 car as he just goes a little bit wide to the final corner. That will give Stefan the perfect opportunity now into turn 1 as we start lap 4 of the race. Oh, my voice is going already. But as we run up, but he hasn't managed to get the run out. But turn 1's not the best overtaking possibility on the track, but turn 3 certainly is, as I said in the intro, and looks like Stefan's got a much better exit than Adrian as we head up into turn 3 now. Will he manage to make a move? Of course, it's cambered, so you've got to make sure that you don't end up doing anything too stupid as he looks, but he just, as we ride on board with the perfect helmet there. Very realistic. Oh, as I just need to catch my breath as it's been action all over the place. A race leader, Alex Gal, has got a 1.6 second lead over Yannick. And Yannick himself has got a 1.5 second lead over Diogo. So a really good start for both P1 and P2. But as we look down the field as a battle for P8, actually, as we look aboard with Sean Collins coming back at the 999 car again of... who is that? Oh, is the 420 car dives down the inside there. That's an opportunistic move and a half. Oh, there's contact. He's actually pushed in wide. That's a bit cheeky there. As now Evout looks to to capitalise and pass his teammate Sean Collins. But Will Money's there saying, well, if you get past him, I want to get past him too. I want to win this race. I want to have a better race than my first 2 races. So we ride on board now with Stefan Jones as he actually gets past the number 47 car. Actually, no, I lied. He's been the number 47 car. So Stefan must have had an issue during the race because now the number 47 car's racing him. So he must have had an issue. As he's now racing side by side with Tom into turn 1, but he should get the cutback. But oh, it's actually that's the number 36 car of Isaac Barkley taking advantage there. Stefan's holding everybody up here. My God, is it absolutely action-packed. So now Tom is racing Isaac as they head to turn 3. Who will brake latest? Can Tom get the outside line? Isaac brakes just that bit later, heads towards the apex, and he's actually had to send it up the inside of Stefan. Stefan might lose another position here. What's happened to Stefan? He was racing right behind Adrian like a lap ago. And now Isaac's just going to come through on the inside. They're racing side by side down the hill into turn 4. Isaac's all on side. Will he be able to brake later? He will indeed. Can he get the car turned in? He can. So Stefan's lost the position now. He's got to make sure that he doesn't lose 2 to Tom. My God, it's all kicking off. I've said that word enough. And so now the number 55 car is racing the 420 car of Arturo. I cannot say your name. I do apologize. I'm going to refer to you as the number 420 car. So he's now got through. He's up into P10. He started 18th. As David Glass looks like he's pitted. I don't know if that's a bit of an opportunistic move or if that's an issue. But of course there is a pit stop, so he might be able just to head to the end of the race from now. As we, always the number 420 car goes a little bit deep into that corner. But yeah, Adrian has either had a stonking lap time or Stefan's made a mistake because they were really close to each other, and now all of a sudden that Adrian's gained a 2-second advantage over Isaac Barkley, but Stefan Jones is coming back at him, although Isaac Barkley got a much better exit coming out of turn 1 at the moment. Down in our AM category, we see that Evout is still in the lead, but with Will Money only 4 tenths behind him. So the battle is not over there. As we see Tom Dellman lunge down the inside of Stefan Jones. Oh, that's a bit of a half-hearted tackle there, and Stefan had to turn out of the corner a bit, which has let Isaac get away. But now Stefan's under threat from not 1 but 2 cars behind him as he goes on the extreme outside. Clearly doesn't think that Tom will send it up the inside, but the number 420 car is going to go around the outside if he can. Oh, as there's a little bit of contact, I think, between the number 27 and the number 47 car. My God, it's so close racing as Arturo now gets past Tom. Arturo's having an amazing race, the number 420 car. His next car to overtake is Stefan Jones, who has unfortunately had a little bit of an issue this race so far, but Tom's now coming back at him. He's got to make sure that he doesn't do any more of those moves up the inside of turn 3 there. He was very lucky that Stefan saw him, I think, and turned out a little bit. Otherwise, that could have been a real clumsy incident. Whew. All right, let's calm down a little bit and have a little bit of a look down the order.
So you're right there.
No.
That's action-packed stuff in the mid-pack. This is fantastic stuff. Good to see Isaac Barkley doing a good job of representing Quasar Sim Racing, who's recently signed with. As
Stefan Jones goes up the inside of Isaac, and there's contact. I think they've hit once, if not twice there. But Isaac's still holding on there. My God, they're about 2 wide, and then behind them there's another 2 wide battle. It's insane.
Yeah, Tom Darman's gone in the Chicane Online Racing. Red Car's gone to the inside of, well, maybe all 3 of them. So he just gets it stopped. The lack of ABS really making it difficult for him up the inside into Ramus Curve as they head 2 by 2 down to turn 4.
Stefan's gone from fighting for 7th to being in 10th and being under pressure from P11. What has happened there? As we see Isaac Barkley at the moment. Oh my God, they're going to go 3 wide. Tom, please be careful. They all somehow make it through turn 4. That's stunning racing at the moment. But Stefan's now down to P11. It's been a shocking lap for him, but a brilliant lap for Isaac because he's still in P7. Although he's got the very quick Tom Dellman just behind him. Only a 10th behind him at the moment. There is just to keep you up to date, there is a battle for P2 at the moment, but we will of course bring you that in a bit. But there's currently a battle for 7th. This Tom now is going to go down the inside of turn 9. This will be a very audacious move if he can make it stick. Oh, but the 420 car has also decided to go down the inside. That was never going to work. I think that's the number 42 car of Sean Collins involved in that too. That was disastrous. Oh, that was a great move by Tom, but I think a little bit ambitious for the 420 car as we see Sean Collins has got a lot of front end damage now. That's so unfortunate. And of course, the mostly unfortunate for Isaac, who was racing in P7 doing an amazing job, capitalizing on everybody's mistakes. That's such a disappointment for him. As we let's have a bit of a quieter battle. Let's go on board for only the battle for P3 that only involves one car rather than 7. So, Jogo has had a bit of a troubled start to the season. Been very quick, but has been involved in incidents that wasn't his fault, so he'll be very keen to get some points today. And he's doing a very good job at that. This, at one stage in the race, was up to 1.6 seconds. So he's brought this gap down very consistently. I just need a little bit of a... I really should have brought a drink. Somebody should have told me that this was going to be such an exciting race.
You go get a drink, Seb. I'll hold the fort for 2 minutes.
Thank you very much.
Right. Looking back from Yannick Danish's 992 at Diogo of 27 Motorsport, taking quite a little bit of wide line there. Off tracks might be a bit of an issue for our drivers today, so 17 is the limit, and looking at the session, it looks to be a DQ at 17, so everyone's going to have to be very, very safe and cautious with whatever moves and overtakes and off tracks they decide to run. Austria, the Red Bull Ring does benefit from the improved I suppose is a matter of opinion, but the increased difference in running all 4 wheels off the racing surface to generate an off track. So
yeah, it's a really good point there. But just to bring in, the number 420 car is already up to 14 incidents. Of course, he was involved in that turn 9 incident that we saw last lap. But 14 is a pretty dangerous place to be when you're only 11 minutes into a 40-minute race, Martin.
Yeah, not the best place to be. Arturo Melgar, I can't remember if it's his first or second round in the season tonight, but he's going to have to be very, very careful, not with himself, but also with other cars around him as well. So we'll see how that plays out in the remaining 30 minutes.
As we ride on board or off board with him, is chasing down Tom Dalman, who was the one of the biggest beneficiaries of that little kerfuffle in turn 9. Will be good to see a replay of that, and I'm sure the stewards, that incident might have been reported to the stewards. So, of course, we do have stewards for this league, but it's only after the event has finished. So competitors have to fill out a bit of a Google form, which then will go to the stewards, and of course then they will take any appropriate action. So of course when we give you the results, it's all provisional until the stewards have made their final decisions. But tell you what's looking good for a battle, if we want another battle, which there's not a lack of in this race, is the battle for P1 in the AM class. The gap is now only 4 tenths between P1 and P2, but Evalt's crucially got the slipstream of Dennis in P10, so he's will be a little bit upset there, because unfortunately Evalt does have the slipstream, which is quite an advantage here.
Yeah, there is quite a bit of a slipstream effect with these Porsche Cup cars, all the way up the hill towards turn 3 and along the front straight, and it'll have a little bit of effect now as well, but it's all about making sure that you get that stopped and get that exit right to take a maximum advantage there, as it looks like Evalt with his brake disc glowing red hot, maybe a little bit of lock up into the 4th corner there, and has allowed Will Money to close up a little bit more behind him, the positively sim racing car chasing down the backmarker racing car ahead of him.
I thought that Evalt was going to go into the back of Dennis there. That was very squirrely under braking there, but thankfully they all made it through. And I tell you what, just looking at the battle for P3, while we ride on board with this battle, is that Gonzalo is now actually caught up to this battle for P2. So now it's a 3-way battle for P2 now, as Alex Gal just goes and sets a fastest lap time, almost a second quicker than P2. He is absolutely running away with this race at the moment. Can anybody stop Alex Gal? It doesn't look like it at the moment, as we see that Diogo has got a very good run on Yannick as they head up to turn 3. We've seen some incidents here in the past, especially in Formula 1. Will we have any repeats of that today? Not at the moment. Can he get a good run out for turn 4? It looks like he can. But Yannick has also got a good run out as well. And I'll tell you what, the 101 car of Aliaz Pritstov is not that far behind. They could very much make this a four-way fight for P2. This race is far from over, although you have to say, unless Alex has an issue at the front, the race win is certainly at the moment not up for grabs. As unfortunately we have two cars out of the race, Isaac Barkley, who of course we saw the incident with, and David Glass, who we didn't see any incident with. But sad for him. As we should just mention that Niels Kaur, who of course got a little bit spooked on the final corner by another car sort of racing him quite hardly, is now up to 14th, only 2 seconds behind Stefan Jones, who I think was also involved in that collision. So he's got people to race. As we actually have a look at that perfect livery there, who informed me they took a very long time, created that livery in Photoshop, all of 5 minutes, I think they said. That's not sarcastic, by the way. They did genuinely tell me that it wasn't. They didn't pay much attention. I want to make that clear.
Nonetheless, it is a work of art. I think we can all agree.
Oh, totally. I mean, it's very distinctive.
Yes, and that is what you want as a livery. Yeah, you want people to remember it. That is what is important. That's what makes a livery iconic. You know, you think of Marlboro, you think of Martini, and you think of Niels Kaur and his. In that, whatever that is.
It will become a thing of legend, undoubtedly. Whether it will be a good legend or a bad legend, we do not know. As we're actually right on board now with the battle for P2, and it looks like Diogo has actually got a better run. I think Yannick must have made a mistake into turn 3, as they're now side by side as they go into turn 4, but Yannick can brake just that little bit later, and somehow manages to stay ahead of Diogo in P3, but all of this time means that Gonzalo in P4 is just biding his time and just getting ever closer. As Arturo and Tom in P7 and 8 are having a battle, Arturo is now dropping down the field, so I think he's had a bit of an incident. Of course, we were talking about him being so close to a disqualification on incident points already, and I wonder if he might have.
I think he's picked up a couple more there, Seb, because he's now on 16 incident points. He's only got one more before that's the end of his night. That will be unfortunate to see, because he has been aggressive, but it's also been a bit of a spectacle to watch, and he's made some good moves along the way, but maybe he needs a little bit calm down as Yannick Danish is now going defensive into turn 1 as Diogo Alberto tries to go around the outside. Now this will be stunning if he can do it. He has. Sorry to cut over you, Martin. That was an incredible move by Diogo to go around the outside of turn 1. I don't think I've ever seen that come off successfully before. Yeah, and he actually managed to keep it all the way up to turn 3, which is what I wasn't expecting. So Yannick Danish is having a bad first half of the lap of lap 12 we're on now. And
Aliaz is just behind him in P5 now and is hunting. I mean, poor Yannick, he's gone from P2 to P4 in the space of, a corner and a half, we'll call it. I refuse to believe that turn 2 is the proper corner, even though...
I'm fully with you there, Seb. It's not really a corner, let's be honest. It'll be interesting. Well, now there's a little bit of a gap ahead of Yannick, and he's under a bit of pressure from Alice Pritstov behind him, our free practice fastest driver. So maybe Vergara and Diogo Alberto ahead can form a bit of a pack and make a breakaway for second. But now that the cork in the bottle has popped of Danish is out the way, do we think that they can catch Alex Gal? I mean, Alex is 6.5 seconds up the road, and we haven't even hit halfway. So part of me says if you've managed to gain that much in less than half the race, then maybe you can gain it back in the other half.
Well, I'm all for watching it as we ride on board with Yannick at the moment, who has managed to keep P4. He's just got to be calm and collected. But I tell you who's looking quick at the moment, Gonzalo. He's looking, I mean, the body language of that car just looks so much better at the moment. Of course, it is easier to follow than it is to be followed. As we look into turn 3 at the moment, looks like, just looking down the field, looks like Stefan Jones has also retired from the race. So unfortunate for him as his first outing in the league. So disappointing for him. But as we go back on board, we see that Gonzalo is very close at the moment. And you have to say that they probably, you're right, Martin, they need to stop squabbling and just try and catch Alex, because he is unstoppable at the moment. I was going to mention the fact that Arturo Melgar was in between the fight for the lead in AM, but he's managed to get past Evout now, so it's back to status quo with Evout leading with Will Money about 4 to 5 tenths behind him. So race long battles here. Martin, when do you think we're going to see the? When do you think we're going to see the
mandatory
first
pit stop?
Yeah.
Oh, as we now go look at a replay in slow motion. So this is unfortunately the incident where Isaac Barkley was taken out. I think that's a little bit ambitious by Arturo there, and Thomas Johnson and the Mountain Dew did well. Car did well to avoid him, but unfortunately, I think it was Sean Collins that didn't fare so well. I say one car can go down the inside there, and it's a reasonably one-line corner. But we'll wait for the stewards' announcements later on in the week once they've got everyone.
I was just looking at some slow-mo shots of Arturo Melgar, which is, of course,
a huge lockup.
Oh my god! I wasn't even.
That's where he must have fell down the order. I think as he's then hit reverse. I think he's trying to avoid the off track.
Yeah,
which
you're right.
May be genius, but we can't tell from here whether he has avoided the off track. But we do know that he's very close to not completing this race. As Stefan Jones comes around the final corner, what are we going to see here?
He's going to light the rears and go into the barrier. Look at that! Oh no, he's overcorrected it, and that's a huge accident. Oh, he didn't. Niels did lucky not to collect him there. That's unfortunate for him.
That's very unfortunate for Stefan Jones. You wouldn't want to see the Niels Core livery affected by that incident either, would you?
Undoubtedly not. That's, again, work of legend as we look at Aliad Pritsov, who is right behind Yannick at the moment in the battle for P4. But, of course, who knows what could happen in this race at the moment. So it's always good to be in the battle. And Aliad has actually had a really good run so far during the race, but Gonzalo, who is a first-time entry to the race, is now challenging for P2. What a stunning entry to the league, as we now go on board with him up to through turn 2, which is this now, into turn 3. Is he going to feel brave enough to go on the inside? He is. If he can pull this off, it will be a brilliant move. Can he get to the apex? He can. Oh my god, that's a stunning move. And he's cut across the number 18 car of Diogo there to make sure that he doesn't get the cutback. That's a brilliant move. Late on the brakes and sweet as anything. But now Diogo's not happy with that, and he's going to come back down. But Gonzalo just defends to the inside, and he takes the position. That was a brilliant move by Gonzalo there, up into P2. But I'm sure Diogo is going to try and get the position back, because they're now actually going to run side by side into turn 6. Although the number 286 car is still just ahead for the time being.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if you see any moves through turn 6 there. Getting the run out of turn 4 and through 5, just going to be impossible unless someone does something absolutely amazing.
But anything's possible in this league, as we have seen as they come into turn 9. Now, is he going to make a move like we saw earlier in the race? Thankfully, not yet. This is amazing. In the space of a camera shot, we've got 2 positions battling, as now Diogo has a better run out. I thought he was actually going to go alongside him there.
I thought Diogo had a very good run as well. It's all about exit speed, isn't it, Seb? Making sure that, Diogo, I think, will be setting him up. Good run through here, trying not to touch that sausage curb on exit, get all of that flat 6 power down onto the road, and see what the slipstream will drag you up towards Remus curve.
And you can look and see, he's just lifted off there. I think he's going to go for a move. Let's watch behind him at the moment to see if the other battle is going to have any movers or shakers. Unfortunately, not yet. But this is some bloody good racing, and we're only just halfway through the race at the moment. What an incredible race so far, as Diogo now has another look on Gonzalo into turn 4, but nothing happening yet.
As I've just seen on the driver's chat, that there's Adrian Vandenberg is pitting in. So that's, to answer your question from a few laps ago, Seb, that's a little earlier than I was expecting. I was expecting maybe people to go 30 to 32 minutes on a fuel tank. So that is a little bit earlier than we expect, but maybe Adrian was in a bit of traffic and decided to, or maybe he's still on the timing screen in 7th position, and therefore he was just checking that the button works, perhaps.
Accidental button press, we've all done it. as the number 18 car runs very wide through there. You've got to make sure that you don't pick up an off track or even a slowdown going out of that wide. As yeah, you're right. No pit stops yet, but we'll of course keep you updated when they happen, as it's all status quo at the moment. Actually, Adrian Vanderberg, he is pitting. You were right, he is pitting. So into the pits comes Adrian. Make sure that you slow it down before the pit limiter line starts. Oh, excuse me. So let's have a look. Oh, is there somebody else coming in? Neil Score is also coming into the pits, getting their stops done early. Now, here's the question, and I don't think we'll see it, but I would be interested to see. Oh, I think Arturo Melgar has been disqualified. I think he's hit the incident limit.
He has hit the incident limit, unfortunately.
Oh, that's heartbreak for him. So yeah, we've lost one car, so it's all kicking off at the moment. So it looks like Adrian definitely has not taken tyres, which is understandable. I don't expect many people to, but you know, it would just be an interesting thing as we see Adrian now return onto the track. But he's at the back of the field. He's got a 2-second gap to Mark Johnson, who then in turn has a 9-second gap to Sasso Prosen. So yeah, interesting to see. But is Nils, you know what, he might be taking repairs after his little clout with the wall earlier in the race, because I don't see that car up on jack. So I don't think he's taking any tyres. I'm just trying to look at his last lap times, but I don't have that on hand, so a little bit sad as we now see the AM leader having a look at Dennis Van Berlin in the 999 car. As any of them going to pit this lap? They go around for at least one more lap. As you look at the timing stands, Diogo is only 5 thousandths of a second alongside. They are basically neck and neck as we look on board with Will Money, who is just watching this battle unfold and just thinking, you know, if anything happens here, is Diogo now actually gets past Gonzalo as we have a look at Will Money. As they're right side by side down the back straight at the moment, and Yannick's there just ready to get into the battle. As they almost touch wheels, they're driving so close together. This is incredible racing as the number 18 car just has enough speed just to go down the inside, and Diogo is back up into P3 as Yannick now has a look on the inside. Oh my god, and I think that was who was that? That was yeah, Gonzalo just getting onto the grass there. I thought they made contact, but I think he just had to correct a little bit of oversteer as he got onto the grass there. Incredible racing here on the 27th minute of this Porsche Cup Challenge. Now I wonder, is anybody going to try and pit and get a bit of an undercut here? Just get out of traffic and just set us some good laps in. Well, we'll watch as they come around the final two corners.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big difference in this race, whether somebody can find that clear gap. As you called it exactly right, Alias Pristov has made his dive into the pits for his mandatory fuel stop. Let's see. We're watching the times to see how long he is stopped for, see how much fuel he takes on.
As we look on board with Will Money, as Ewout van Krooijsen goes into the pits. That was very nearly an incident there. So the AM race leader is now in the pits. Make sure you get it slowed down. A little bit of a lockup coming into the pits, but as long as you get it slowed down, it doesn't matter. As we look on board for this battle for P2, Diogo has got a little bit of a gap now, as I think that Gonzalo is struggling a little bit, and that's actually opened the door now for Yannick, who's got a much better run coming out of turn 3. Can he do anything about it into turn 4? He might be just that little bit too far behind as he backs off a little bit, just biding his time. I wonder if we're going to see any of the top 3 in the pits. Is the gap now to Diogo to Alex is now 10 seconds. Our race leader has got a 10-second gap over P2. That's an incredible margin. That's simply stunning by Alex. To be honest, at this point, we'd expect nothing less of him.
Yeah, he's done such a good job. We haven't even seen him on the screen. I think all of the battling behind has certainly helped him, but it's certainly been entertaining from our perspective, and long may it continue. It'd be interesting to see if all 3 of them came in on the same lap, perhaps. As yep, they've all stayed out this time round. So still wait another lap for the merge with Bristov. That's right. Thank you very much. As we now look at the fantastic suit of Alex Carl in his VRS Satellite Porsche 992 Cup car. Got no idea what the helmet is, but the pink pig inspired livery for the suit, and that's looking absolutely resplendent here in Austria.
So just looking at the lap times. All right, so we'll wait next lap to see. But Aliav Pritstoff is currently setting some blistering sector times. So watch out for him in the coming laps. As you're right, Alex Gale's suit and helmet combo was something else, to say the least. Is we'll have a look at Aliav Pritstoff. Is Mark Johnson now comes into the pits. Niels Core is still in the pit, so I think he might be out of the race, which is really unfortunate. This is definitely a race of attrition tonight. Sad to see so many cars retire, but yeah, really sad. And I guess so what happens with a 40-minute race, you can't reset and come back after 20 minutes with another race. Alias is currently rocketing around the track, and this could be a real masterstroke from him. He could go from P5 up to P2 as we have a look at one of the leaders, and that's another 18.
Diogo's in from 27 Motorsport. He's now making his pit stops as the other guys carry on round. They've got to make a pit stop, haven't they? There's what's that, 10 minutes left?
They've surely got to pit. I mean, the only person that I think could not pit would be Alex, because he could lift and coast for miles and it'd still be okay. So let's have a look and see, where does Diogo enter? Where does Aliav Pritstoff come out in this? Has he managed to play the masterstroke? Because Diogo only has now just stopped. Is now Aliav Pritstoff comes around the final corner. I think there might be a change of positions here, you know, as he runs super wide, trying to gain as much time as possible. They're now on pit exit, so Will Money goes through now.
It's going to be tight. This is going to be very tight. You can see Diogo there in the corner of the shot. Going to come around turn one now. Aliaz has done his best, as he did in free practice.
He's going to get him. He's going to get him. Oh no! The perspective looks like.
He's tucked into the slipstream now. We're riding on board nose cam. You can feel the heat from the radiator protruding through the camera, and Diogo's held the position. But you have to say, Aliaz is a lot closer than he was. He was at the back of that group, so I still think that he's made a fantastic tactical decision, and we'll wait for when Yannick and Gonzalo make their pit stops and see where they come out.
Undoubtedly, and I think that if we had race engineers in this series, I think they'd be telling both of these drivers to box this lap. Do not lose any more time being out there, because you saw how close Aliaz was to overtaking Diogo, and you know, these drivers, you have to say, are under serious threat at the moment of losing this P2 and 3. I think there was another driver that pitted. I might have just missed his name. The other battle to watch out for is that Ewout van Kroijsen pitted, and of course Will Money, the guy who was in AM P2, is still leading. So of course, you know, we're seeing many different strategies unfold here. Has Will saved enough fuel to get to the end? I'm pretty sure that it's not possible.
I don't think it is possible. We predicted around 32, 33 minutes, so it's getting very tight on fuel now, and to generate another 7 minutes of fuel in any car over such a short period of time, you'd have to basically, you'd have another fuel tank. You'd have to carry a trailer full of it around, so I doubt it's going to happen, but nonetheless, it's very exciting to see the split strategies at the moment.
So Alias is actually gaining on Diogo at the moment. It's really interesting because Diogo now doesn't have the slipstream of the car ahead. He's Alias is being able to catch up to him even more, and he's looking a little bit of a threat into turn 4 at the moment, but I think he's just a little bit too far back. But now is the major question: when is P2 and 3 gonna pit? I tell you what, it's got to be seen, because these drivers are quick. If they start to squabble and they start to lose time, all of their advantage goes. So it's almost like a question of just, you know what, just holding station. But it doesn't look like Pritstoff is going to be holding station. Is Gonzalo and Yannick now both dive to the pit lane as Alex Gal actually goes for another lap. So he is...
Wow, that's incredible stuff from Alex. That is absolutely incredible. So we must only expect one more lap from him then.
Tom Downman's also gone through as well. That's incredible from him. So let's have a look. So this is now the battle for P2. What's going to happen? So they up not that much fuel as we see the battle currently for what is going to be at least net P2 at the moment, as they are now both leaving the pits, as Diogo is still in lead. Oh, it's going to be incredibly tight again. This could all end in tears. Please be careful as they come around the final corner. They're definitely going to overtake one of them, if not both of them. Alias Pritstoff now So, the 286 car goes very extreme to defend, but Diogo's going to take the position through. Alias Pritzhoff has made up at least one position. Can he do anything about Gonzalo up ahead? I don't think so. So, Alias is only able to make up one position, but Gonzalo's on the inside. Oh my god, they're super wide at the moment. Can Alias make up any positions? I tell you what, it looks like Yannick has got the best exit out of that corner out of anybody, and they're now racing almost 4 abreast down into turn 4 at the moment. It's anybody's game. It looks like Diogo is actually, there's a dive at the moment from Alias. So Alias is now up to P4. Is now Diogo has actually gone wide. Oh my god, this is crazy. So Gonzalo is now currently in net P2 at the moment. Diogo and who is that? That's Alias are currently still racing side by side through turn 6 and 7. Although if you make a move around there, you are very either talented or stupid, depending on if the move comes up or not. And Yannick is suddenly now last, but I tell you what, he's looking very feisty at the moment, coming back, Alias. But Yannick has got the advantage here of, as we see Alex Gal making the pit stop, unaware to the drama behind him, and Tom Dowman also making the stop. I thought that's Diogo going a little bit wide there. That might give Alias a little bit more incentive just to sneak one up the inside. But I tell you what, that's worked out very well for Gonzalo at the moment. He's managed to make a little bit of a break from this pack behind him.
Yeah, absolutely incredible stuff. I just sat here and watched it and let you commentate on it. So that you couldn't imagine a better set of fuel stops there for all this 4 bunch. There turns out all those clean air laps that they had didn't really make a lot of difference. So these guys are
in the end.
These guys are all pushing incredibly hard and at a very equal level. That's fantastic stuff.
I tell you what, who has actually gained out of this is Alex Gal. His gap is now up to almost 14 seconds. It's insane as we see Yannick braking way later than Alias and using a different line. I thought they were going to be coming together there. As I think Will Money has actually jumped Eve out in the pit stops. I think that by Will Money, by pitting later, he's jumped Eve out. He has, but Eve out's not taking that. He's right behind him. I mean, the gap is now about 3/10, but a change of lead in AM. So Will Money, who started on pole, who lost the position around about the start of the race, is now back up into the lead in 9th overall as well, for good measure. But that battles, we've got battles everywhere.
Yeah, and this race is doubly important to win if you are Will Money or Revolt, because it is double points being twice the length of one of our sprint races. So, yeah, absolutely hammer and tongs. So that not only means that you get double points, but it's double the difference to normal for that extra position in the results.
That's a very good point. I don't think these drivers need any more incentive. Diogo got very wide out of the top of turn 1. He actually hit the sausage curb, which has given a major incentive to Alias Pritzhoff behind him. Will he make a move into turn 3? He's looking at it, but he's not quite prepared to brake late. But I tell you who's braking late is Yannick. He almost careened into the back of not 1 but 2 cars. But they are still at line of stern as they come down. I tell you what, Diogo, after having that poor start, is looking very racy up against Gonzalo at the moment. He's tucked right behind him, but he doesn't go down the inside yet. We've only got about 2.5 minutes left of racing, so we're definitely coming down into the closing stages of this race. I'm surprised that Diogo didn't send one down the inside as we're so close to the end. This battle for P2 has just been incredible. As we look at, oh my god, they're about 4 wide as Evart's now side by side with Will Money into turn 4. Evart's going to break a little bit earlier, but Will Money's gone a little bit deep, but Evart just has to stay behind for a bit more. That was very nicely done from Will Money. He knew that he didn't have to defend quite as much as he could have done, and he just managed to stay ahead. But that was so tight as our race lead Alex Gal sets another fastest lap.
Yeah, he's just toying with the field right now, isn't he? He's cooled off the tyres with his little pit stop and now just putting in a fastest lap just for good measure.
So as we head on board with this battle for the race, not for the race win, for P2, but with how hard they're fighting to move the race win, and Gonzalo's gone very wide out of turn 1. He got all out of shape, so this is given the perfect opportunity for Diogo now. All he has to do is just keep it as he now goes to the inside, so Gonzalo's going to push him around all the way around the outside, but he brakes just a bit later. They're going to go 2 by 2 into the corner, although Diogo has very wisely chosen just to try and get the cutback, and he's got, looks like a much better exit out of turn 3 as they now head down towards turn turn 4 on the back straight. I don't know if this is the final lap or the penultimate lap, but I tell you what, all these positions matter at the moment, but somehow Gonzalo has managed to keep P2. That's quite stunning considering he was sideways out of turn 1. But I tell you what, the battle for P2 is not ended, and there's a battle for P3 as well, as Yannick is looking very feisty. Battle for P4, I do apologise, is Yannick is looking very feisty at the moment, as we have a... Oh, as Eval has actually got past Will Money, so that switch of positions happened somewhere. Oh, and I think Will Money's having a little bit of issues, because he just blinked out on my screen at the very least, which is unfortunate for him. So after that superb strategy decision, as we can actually have a look at the overtake, and Eval's manages to get a better run out of the last corner. Simple like braking into turn 1 and down the inside, nice and clean move. Will gives him enough space, more than enough space to try and get the cutback. Really nice racing between those two. It's been a really lovely clean race between them for the whole time, as we now start the final lap of the race, and our current top 5 is Alex Gal, Gonzalo Viagra, Diogo Alberto, Aliad Pritzov, and Yannick Danish in P5. As Will Money's actually gotten past Ewout van Kroijsen. So there's been drama. Actually, Will Money's, I think, having...
He's towed to the pits, unfortunately. He's had an issue, as Vigaris absolutely sends it.
He sent it. He's done it. He's up to P2 on the final lap. That's absolutely incredible. Yannick kicks up a bit of grass in the background. It's anybody's game who could finish here. Will they collide into the turn 4 at the moment? It's all happening on the final lap as the brake discs glow into turn 4 at the moment. You've got to feel so badly for Gonzalo at the moment. He was leading all up, but I tell you what, he's going to make a move down the inside into turn 7. That will be very ambitious if he can do it.
Oh no!
There's drama. So that means that Aliyev Pritzov is now in second. Yannick in third. Drama on the final lap. They've taken each other out. So I think Alex Gall is going to cross the line. But to be honest, we don't care about that. We care for the battle of P2. And it looks like Aliyev Pritzov's going to take it miraculously. So Alex Gall has crossed the line to win. He would need several penalties, Alex, to be demoted. But Aliyev Pritzov is going to come through in P2. Eval, who was the AMP winner, is going to come home in 6th place overall, as Alias crosses the line to come P2 and Yannick P3. What an incredible battle for the race there, and what a disastrous finish as we see Tom Dowman finish 4th. Well, I'm going to need a rest after this one. So Adrian Vanderberg, who we haven't really seen much of since that battle, I think he was having with Stefan and Isaac Barkley. So he's going to come across the line in P5. But Ewout van Kroijsen's not only going to win the AM class, but he's going to come P6 overall. That's a huge haul of points as we see the 999 car, and we see the somewhat sad-looking backmarker racing car that I will have to talk to him about, because that paint does look better when it doesn't have dents in it. Just saying, as he comes across in P8. And Mark Johnson, who had an issue at the start, is actually going to come through for P2 in class. So it just shows you that you sometimes just keeping your nose clean, keeping yourself out of danger, and just running the laps can sometimes pay off. And especially in a race like this, he's going to come through for P2 in class for the team Legends Racing. That's an incredible race for him. And what happened to Will Money? What happened indeed? Because that's disastrous for him. Oh, that was... What a race. What a race. I'm going to need a lie down after that. As we can have a look on board. So they're racing side by... So he pits. Why did he pit? Did he not have enough fuel? He either not had enough fuel, or... Now, it's a little bit cheeky, but I was wondering if he thought that he could cross the line first. But that's a conspiracy theory that I'll ask him. But what a race. What a race. That was insane. I need to catch my breath after that, as Will Money comes across the line in P10. So P3 in class, I wonder, he might not have fueled enough, which is very disappointing for him as he comes across the line and retires. My God, what a race. So these are your race winners. Alex Gall with a commanding victory, 17 seconds after all was said and done. Aliyev Pritzov in second, who started the last lap in 4th, comes across the line in 2nd. And Yannick Danish comes across the line in 3rd. They are your podium sitters for today. Tom Dowman comes across the line in a very respectable P4. Oh, excuse me. talking too much, is Adrian Van Den from Rogue Racing, and the number 29 car comes across in P5. Ewout van Kloosjen in the number 13 Batmarker racing car comes across the line as your AM class race winner. Dennis Van Berlin in P7 overall for Chicane Online Racing. Sean Collins comes across the line in a quite broken Batmarker racing car in P8. Mark Johnson comes out, finishes the race in second in AM class, and Will Money rounds out the top 10 and also P3 in AM. Will be really good to listen to him, of course, after leading the race at the start and then after the pit stops with that pretty amazing strategy call. But unfortunately, it didn't work for whatever reason. Gonzalo's Vergara, who is, of course, one of the new drivers for this round, comes home in 11th after the last lap contact with Diogo Alberto in P12. Sasa Prostin comes across the line in a very lonely 13th. I think he was running the whole time, but I think he must have had a few dramas that unfortunately we didn't see. Tom Johnson in 14th, who was 11 laps down and didn't finish. I don't think we saw the reason why. So sorry, Tom, for not knowing. Tiro Melgar comes across in 15th, although he was disqualified for what we can only assume is too many incident points. Niels Kaur comes across the line of 16th after not finishing, after not coming out of the pits after the pit stop. Stefan Jones, we unfortunately saw the crash at the final corner for. Isaac Barkley, we saw, very unfortunately for him, the crash at the corner before the final corner, or sometimes known as the penultimate corner. And David Glass in 19th, who also had a few issues. But what a race, Martin. That was
absolutely incredible. That's one of the most intense races for second place I've seen. But forget about that. Let's speak to our overall race winner, Alex Gal. Alex, how was that for you? Unfortunately, we didn't see much of your VRS satellite racing car because we were watching the battle for second instead.
Yeah, I even saw the battle of my relative. I thought that these guys really had to fight. I wonder how much wing they were using, because that's really what it's all about on this track. So the problem was this week the official racing setup was on 11 wing, but it turns out that 4 wing is a bit quicker. I mean, a lot quicker, but like lower wing is better. So it was mostly about that, I think, this race, and then it's the fuel.
Well, I think there must be a little bit of driver skill in there, considering you finished 17 seconds ahead of P2. So definitely take some credit for that, because that's an insane margin.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm surprised that it shouldn't have been this far up in front, especially that if you can stay in the draft, it's so much quicker. So I guess it's really about the setup here, because I was really able to make a gap even in the straights and even in the corners. So I really wonder where that's coming from.
And we'd also just like to congratulate you on the best suit and helmet combo. You've definitely got the best out of the whole driver field, so you've also won that competition today.
The Mi 6 helmets has been part of my clothing for a while now, but I do like it. If people find it fun, that's fine for me. I'd rather have that.
And combined with the pink pig
Yes.
suit as well, I think that's really good.
That's just to see myself in the pits.
Well, just congratulations on the win. Yeah, as Martin said, we really didn't see much of you on the broadcast. You just you nailed it, and well handled as well with the impromptu rolling start. Very well handled, and yeah, you capitalized on that very well.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm happy to be a part of this and enjoying the racing anyway and the driving of this car.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, and good luck at the next round.
Thank you, guys.
As we will bring in Ewout van Kroijsen, our AM winner. Congratulations, Ewout. How was that from your perspective?
Thanks, dude. It was a good race. It was nice fighting with Will.
Good, clean fighting out there, then?
Yeah. I know him from last season, so I knew he was clean. He is clean. So I was not too worried about crashing into each other, but it was hard to stay in front of him.
All right, you did a very good job. And what was your decision to pit early? Because you pitted quite a few laps before Will. Why did you decide to pit that early?
I felt like we were stuck behind Dennis because we both could have gone faster. But after the pit stop, I just couldn't hit my laps anymore. I don't know why.
Oh,
I was a bit slower than behind Dennis.
well, congratulations, and also congratulations on being the highest backmarker racing finisher.
Yeah.
I think the rest of them didn't survive.
Nope.
But congratulations, that was a really good fight between you and Will. So awesome to see such close racing for the victory. We unfortunately we didn't get it in pro, but we certainly got it in AM today.
Yeah, it was kind of sad that Will interviewed for a lap.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, we talked just before, but I was hoping we were fighting until the end, but he fueled 9 liters and he needed 12. It was kind of sad.
So just one lap short. We'll have a chat with him later. Thank you very much, Yoval, for popping into the commentary booth. And congratulations on your AM win today and 6th overall. Well done.
Thanks for hosting, guys. And double points.
Indeed, double points. Well done. All right. Right then, let's bring in Alias Pristov and Yannick Danish, our second and third place overall finishers. Crikey, guys, that was one hell of a battle. 4 cars battling for, 40 minutes. And then contacts in front of you in the final lap, which, certainly helped you guys out. Tell us all about it, really.
Yeah, it was crazy race, especially at the end. I knew it was going to happen, fighting for the P2 in the last lap. I was just being patient because I knew something could happen.
And from your perspective, Yannick, you lost out a little bit through the pit stop cycle, but as Ali's got a position on you, but how are you feeling going into those last couple of laps?
I think I took a little bit of a wrong setup because starting on P2 and I've got slower and slower over the whole race, so I was fighting without a gun.
Oh dear! Brought a knife fight to
Yes.
brought a knife to a gunfight. Oh dear! Well, it shows that setup is important in the series, even though you look at all of the cars and they do appear to all be the same. But that's interesting to note.
So before the crash, I was sitting there like a sitting duck, and got a little bit lucky.
Well, it happens in racing, and you take it when it comes, and move on when it goes the other way, I guess.
Yes, of course.
Right. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, congratulations. That was an incredible battle. My voice hurts because of that battle. So thank you, and also, yeah, thanks. That was insane. Alias, I was going to ask you, why did you choose to pit early? Just figured you'd try something different?
Yeah, actually, I went for undercut because they were fighting in front of me. So I decided to try to do an undercut because I have nothing to lose. I thought I might be a little bit quicker. So at the end, I managed to gain 1 position from that.
Yeah, that was really good. We were watching as the other guys were coming out of the pits, and to be honest, I thought you were going to get them all, but perspective changed that. But yeah, it was a really good strategy call, and I think you were the only one that managed to actually pit earlier that actually gained a substantial amount of time. So
oh, really?
Yeah, looks like it was just a little bit quicker just to stay out.
Okay.
So well done.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Right,
congratulations to both of you for the stunning drive.
Thanks. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, guys. See you in 2 weeks' time for Belle Isle. Well, right then, let's move on to our second place of the AM category. So we have Will Money for Positively Sim Racing in the booth with us now. How was that? Well, I saw a comment in the Discord channels that looks like you had, and Nivout said it as well, that you had a great battle with him. Yeah, different strategies, and unfortunately didn't pay off for you with the fuel in the end, it looks like.
Hi guys, great stream again. I just watched some highlights quickly just so I could see some bits. But yeah, it didn't really pay off for me. I went off my fuel calculator, which I got on my phone, which was saying I needed 9 liters and I needed 12. So
Was a lap short then, was
a
it?
lap short. And then when I
Oh dear.
when I entered the pit, it was unsafe pit entry, so I had a
Oh,
50-second
no.
penalty.
Oh,
Oh
gutted.
no! So
It was all going so well.
So you were racing that hard with eval and
Yep.
doing fuel calculations on your phone.
So I got like the dashboard app.
I was going to say, because if you're using the calculator, you deserve.
I have done that before. Used the calculator, but
Well, if you do that again, we'll give you bonus points. I'm just saying. That's very impressive.
I must say I really enjoyed how the potential of like the strategy play out. That was a lot of fun.
That's
good to hear because it's the first time we've tried the longer race with double points in ISRPC. So yeah, we'll take that feedback on board.
So, question. Sorry, no, you go on.
It was quite funny because I was going to pit the same time as Iru. I was trying to undercut him, and then he dived in, so I stayed out. And then I was thought, right, I've got to go longer, just to try and gain some time. It was good, working out to see how it would play out. I did come out in front of him, but it showed because I didn't take as much fuel.
Interesting. I was going to say, so when you were staying out, did you think it was the right strategy, or did you think Evat had got it just that little bit? Has got it right by pitting early?
To start with, I thought, I'm going to lose this because I just suddenly lost all the grip going into the second corner. When I went under the brakes, I ran wide twice. I think it's just from being in free air. I was so used to going up there behind free cars every lap. Suddenly in free air, I was like, oh, this is not right. But then suddenly I put in some really quick laps and I had the gap open to, I think it was about 26 seconds when I pitted back to Euro, and I thought, it might just be enough. And then when I came out, I saw he was behind. I was like, okay. And then suddenly I realised Alex was gonna get the extra lap. I thought, I'm out of this now.
Yeah, you can blame Alex because he was insanely quick today.
Yeah,
he was definitely in the class of his field, finishing 17 seconds ahead of the battle for second, which was very intense in itself. But no, he did a fantastic job at the front. So next, in 2 weeks' time, we're off to Belle Isle. What are your thoughts on that? You driven the track before? Is it?
I can honestly say I actually drove it for the first time on Tuesday night after I did practice for this. I just went around it in the Indy Pro car just quickly. So that's the first time I've ever driven it. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, those walls will be very close. I don't think we'll have any problems with incident points there for some reason.
No,
I was pushing it tonight. I think I got to about 11 tonight.
That's not pushing it. Unfortunately, a driver did get disqualified.
Oh, okay.
So
11's bad for me.
Oh well, 11's very low for me, so I'd take it.
Yeah, looking at the incidents now, you were on 10, and only 5 people were lower than you. I think 3 of those didn't finish. So actually, looking at across the field, you did very well. And
I wonder what happened to everyone else because I thought I was going to finish 4th. When you then put my name saying I finished 3rd, I was like, what? Because I thought
it's
Prosen finished ahead of me, but unless he ran out of fuel on the last lap.
I think it was a bit.
Sasso, finished a lap down. So you 3rd for the moment, as far as we can figure out. We'll have a look at the results file afterwards and figure it all out. But no,
unless it's because I crossed the line when I went into the pits for that final stop. I'd already crossed the line, I guess.
Yes, you received the white flag, whereas I don't.
Sasso would have probably finished the race at that point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, okay, fair enough.
It's all very important, even if you were in the pits, to get that extra lap in.
Schumacher tactic.
Well, I did kind of in commentary say that I was, wondering if you'd try to go into the pits just to overtake Eval. I didn't really think you did it, but it would have been a cool story if you did. But yeah,
I entered the pit. I forgot to turn tires off. I was just like, I was so annoyed with myself at the time. I was like, oh, you idiot.
It's so gutting when that happens.
It was a lot of fun, that race. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's not the easiest track to overtake, I would say. I mean, some people made it look really easy, but for me, I found Iwa was really quick in a straight line, and I just could not get in that position to attack. But I thoroughly enjoyed that race.
Awesome. That's what we like to hear. Well, yeah, sort of. It's weird to say, but commiserations on your P3.
Yeah. Oh well, it's some good points, so I'll take it.
Good points in back for Belle Isle, which at least if you have to fuel save, it's harder to overtake there. So remember that.
It's a double race though, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's back to the normal format of 2 20-minute races there. I think some people might need the reset car after the first race, but we'll wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Might start from the back in that one.
Try and avoid all the carnage. All right, thanks very much, Will. Good to speak to you as always, and good luck in 2 weeks.
Cheers.
Time at Belle Isle.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye. Wow, what a race. I'm thoroughly done in after that. I'm not sure about you, Martin, but bloody hell.
I'm ready for another one. Let's go. That was absolutely fantastic. And if we can see more, even if it's half as good across the 2 races that we'll have next time out at Belle Isle and Detroit, USA, that'll be fantastic. And I'm aiming to be a part of it. So I hope you enjoy the show.
Yes, and we'll join you in 2 weeks' time for round 4 of the ISRPC Championship from, as you say, Belle Isle, which will be something definitely worth watching and not missing, because that will be carnage. But thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much to my co-commentator Martin Pearson, and of course Vincent Evers, who has been on the cameras and done a stunning job as always. So thank you very much to him for the production today, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time in the USA.